Thank you very much, Program Director. Your Excellency, Dr. Carlos Lopez, Executive Secretary of UNECA, and good brother, Excellency Minister Dlamini-Zuma, Minister of Science and Technology of the Federal Republic of Ethiopia, my sister AU Commission of the Economic Affairs, Dr. Anthony Murupeng, Dr. Stephen Kaizis Mugero, Acting Chief Economist and Vice President of ADB, Mr. Eugene Owusu, UNDP representative in Ethiopia, esteemed panelists and participants, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I'm indeed honored to address this year's African Economic Conference on the theme Knowledge and Innovation for Africa's Transformation. The Science and Technology and Innovation Strategy of Africa, STISA 2024, adopted this year, emphasizes the importance of a skilled workforce, technology, and the use of global and indigenous knowledge for Africa's transformation. In a similar vein, the 2014 African Transformation Report by the African Center for Transformation noted, I quote, economic transformation demands a healthy workforce equipped with knowledge and skills to be highly productive in the workforce and to generate innovations in technologies, processes, products, and services, close quote. At the same time, there isn't more powerful symbol of our challenges in this regard than the fact that the most common symbol of African agriculture is a woman working in the fields with a handheld hoe. It is therefore not surprising that women have highlighted as one of their immediate aspirations to have this archaic and back-breaking tool to be relegated to the museums. Skills, technology, knowledge, and innovation are critical to all areas of African transformation, from the modernization of agriculture to having resilient and effective public health systems in order to fight disease, as we have seen today with Ebola. It is required to build and maintain infrastructure, transport, ICT, irrigation, storage, and energy for the development of industry, manufacturing, and services, and for agro-processing, beneficiation, and value addition. So we need these skills, technology, knowledge, and innovation to ensure democratic and responsive governance that can deliver effective public services and to facilitate universal access to basic needs such as food, nutrition, water and sanitation, shelter, health, and education. These issues are critical to our Agenda 2063, the 50-year vision for the Africa we want, as well as the common Africa position on the post-2015 development agenda and the aspirations of our people for a prosperous Africa based on inclusive growth and sustainable development, an integrated continent, politically united and based on the ideals of Pan-Africanism and the vision of the African Renaissance. An Africa of good governance, democracy, respect for human rights, gender equality, justice, and the rule of law. A peaceful and secure Africa, a strong cultural identity, common heritage, shared values and ethics. Development that is people-driven and that unleashes the potential of its women and youth, and a continent that is a strong, united, an influential global partner. But to achieve these aspirations, Africa must invest in its most precious resource, its people, to ensure that it can use its other resources, land, minerals, energy, oceanic resources, forests, etc., and to modernize, integrate, and build shared prosperity. Because without the skills, we cannot do anything with our minerals, with our land, with our oceanic resources, or any of our natural resources. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, the conference concept note paper identifies the reasons for the slow pace of skills and technology development and innovation, including such factors as the absence of a critical mass of university-educated skilled labor force, insufficient enrollment in institutions for technical and vocational education, lack of appropriate innovation ecosystem, including investment in science, technology, and research, few structured on-the-job skills development programs, lack of capital for innovations, and the fact that less than 25% of African students participate in science, technology, engineering, and maths, STEM. So the process of the development of Agenda 2063 is drawing towards a close with its representation to January Summit AU Summit for Adoption. Part of this last lap is to identify the critical actions and issues that must be in place during the first decade to enable us to reach a tipping point to ensure sustainable transformation. Clearly, the skills revolution we have been advocating for is one such critical area in order to increase the number of children, boys and girls, in quality secondary education and ensure science, maths, and technology, as well as vocational and technical training, are critical parts of the curricula across the continent. For this, we need to develop teachers, not only at a country level, but across regions, and for the whole continent, sharing resources and using technology. And these days, it should be easy to utilize the good teachers in STEM that we have across countries and across regions if we utilize the technology available today. And of course, strengthening our higher education sector, especially universities, where we have seen increase in enrollment of about 16% over the last decade. Yet this is still insufficient. We must therefore all support the University Summit planned for Dakar, Senegal in March next year to ensure that we have in place a strategy for investing in higher education. The harmonization of qualifications and curricula, improving access to e-learning, strengthening science, engineering, and maths, and building links between education and the private sector so as to prevent the absurdity of graduate unemployment. Building national, regional, and continental infrastructure and systems for innovation and technology so that our scientists and researchers can share and collaborate with each other, as well as have access to capital to develop and market their innovations. There are lots of examples of innovations that were done in Africa but commercialized in other parts of the world. So it's important to have capital for the development of what our young people and our scientists innovate. Deliberate strategies to increase the number of girls and women in science, technology and engineering, innovation and technology, from primary to postdoctoral levels, including the number of faculty members. And I don't think I need to emphasize this point. We just need to look around this room and you can see what I mean. Engage with the private sector on the continent to ensure close cooperation on identifying and addressing the skills gap and putting in place labor market institutions that allow for on-the-job training, smooth education to work transitions, and for entrepreneurship and innovations. We therefore keenly look forward to the concrete actions issues arising from your discussions so that we strengthen Agenda 2063 on these critical matters. And I wish this conference very successful deliberations and a good input into Agenda 2063. I thank you.